Here is another very important person who is familiar with the history of the gardens. Mr. Raymond Ramdon, Superintendent, Public Gardens Division. Mr. Ramdon, please tell us about your responsibilities at the Castleton Botanical Gardens.
Okay, good day. I'm Raymond Ramdon, Superintendent of Public Gardens, attached to the Ministry of Agriculture. The Public Gardens Division is responsible for the maintenance of the public gardens, namely Castleton Gardens, Bath Garden, Syncona Garden. We have oversight responsibility for the maintenance of Oak Gardens and the Oak Zoo, and we also have direct responsibility for the maintenance of Holland Bamboo and Fern Gully. These are under the Public Gardens Division is a division of the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries. As you know, that there are challenges in the maintenance of the garden. You know, government funding is limited to some extent, and we have to seek private sector support in the redevelopment of the gardens. For this garden here, we approach TPDCO, that's Tourism Product Development Company, and through TPDCO and Tourism Enhancement Fund, we have managed to implement a project here, in collaboration with them, of course, and did quite a bit of rehabilitative works since November last year up to now. The rehabilitation involved the construction of a new gazebo, which you would have seen in the Palmitum area. We refurbished the office storeroom building down here. We refurbished the other gazebos that are on the lower section towards the river. If you go down to the one near to the river, you'd see that new rails are there. It was repainted and the floor was done over. And we have received garden furniture as well, which includes 6 tables and 6 benches. We have also gotten, currently they are installing tree labels and also signage. You'd see the one right here which say the car park is 100 yards on the road. That was installed by them as well. And I've seen several tree labels which it involves using the electrical posts, cut them on a slope and have planted it in the ground with a label on it. It is open to the public, but not 24 hours. There's opening and closing hours, and the hours is gazetted as well. In the summer period, the garden is open from 6 to 6:30, and in the winter period from 6 to 6. It's a public facility. It's open every day, including public holidays and on weekends. Currently, there is no cost for the regular visitors. As I said, it's a public space. Normal family can come in free to enjoy the facilities. However, if a group is coming, then we would encourage a group. You know, if they are coming to do extra, for example, they want to have a picnic where they're going to occupy a space. For example, they're taking over a gazebo and they want to do some cooking like a picnic and so on, then we'd ask them to give a contribution. The Public Gardens Regulation Act was revised in 2006, and it accommodates for charging of fees. But we have not implemented the regulation or constructed the regulation then to enact the charging of fees. So in the interim, we're merely asking for a donation. And that donation is used to do rehabilitative works that is done by the officers who are based here. For example, people could donate bags of cements, and then my officers here would gather the sand from the river, put in their labor and repair like the walkways. They have constructed a change room down there. I don't know if you saw it, but they use donation money to purchase blocks, cement, steel, and put in their labor and have constructed a change room for themselves. The government is responsible for the recurrent expenditure, that is paying salaries, traveling, and the general maintenance, buying the gas stove, operate the lawnmower, the chainsaw, and so on. And other incidental materials, whatever is required for the day-to-day operation, that is done by the government through the recurrent budget. Capital budget, we used to get capital budget, which is for doing rehabilitative works, heavy maintenance and construction, but that has been very limited in recent times. Hence the reason why we have to be seeking support from private sector groups. Well, I must tell in terms of the maintenance, they have a very good cadre of staff here. They have very hardworking people and they carry out their job. You know, some may skylark a little, but the manager is exceptional as well and should be on top of, she's always on top of the station and she gets the work done. In terms of animals, you know, you might have the stray animals here and there, you know, goats in particular, and a few dogs here and there, but nothing to speak of in general.
I think you're doing fantastic. The Wag Water River. The Castleton Botanical Garden is caressed by the Wag Water River at the lower section of the garden. One of the main advantages of the river is that it contains no high level of sulfur as the Plantain Garden River in Bath, St. Thomas, which adversely affected the plant life at Bath. Today, the Wag Water River is an important feature of Castleton Botanical Gardens and has its days when it is counted as an asset and deemed as a liability, even though at times when there's heavy rainfall, it leaves much debris behind, which tends to create additional work for the property manager. On the other hand, it is an asset when on a warm summer day, the banks of the river becomes enticing and many visitors come to the garden. They would sit on the cool rock, listen to the rustling of the leaves in the trees and ruffling of the water in the river in order to find peace and tranquility. The Castleton Garden Nursery was developed to incorporate features that are universal to all gardens. A botanical garden nursery. The nursery was once a source for income to assist with expansion and maintenance of the gardens. The nursery was enormous, as it had about 40,000 plants each year, including the blue maho tree, which is the national tree of Jamaica. Castleton Post Office, located on the hill, a part of the property. The post office usually serves the entire Castleton community. Want to get away from all the hustle and bustle? Meditation, relax in comfort and style? Castleton Gardens is the place to go. It's one of the most popular and idyllic spots for picnic, games, entertainments. Also the perfect spot for lovers or just to zoom in on nature. Castleton today. The Castleton Botanical Gardens in St. Mary is moving to recapture its former glory through funding from the Tourism Product Development Company, TPDCO, and the Tourism Enhancement Fund, TEF. But it is also looking for additional partnership to make it into a top-class nature showpiece. The plans for the gardens at the castle include the construction of 2 gazebos in the upper section of the gardens and the provision of garden furniture. However, the office building have been refurbished, including 2 gazebos in the lower section. Tree labels have been installed and direction signs are yet to be installed. The manager of the garden at the castle has made several requests to different funding agencies requesting assistance with the development and maintenance of the property. However, these requests have been rejected. The funding agencies are insisting that a plan be established to show how the gardens will be maintained after the funds have been invested. This poses another problem, as since the garden's inception, entry has been free. The management is now contemplating the best options for the garden as they face harsh financial reality of having to institute an entrance fee. The historical development of the Castleton Botanical Gardens in Jamaica.